Welcome to part two of the state transfer process for whiteout survival. In the first part, I tell you how to do research to find a state that you will like. And in this, I am going to go over the how-tos of how to actually physically do the transfer. You know, it just occurred to me that one of the things I didn't talk about in part one that I really should have said is when you play Foundry against people or when you're playing events with other people against other people, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and send them a message and just be like, "Hey, and befriend them." And then that way, if you're friends with somebody for, a couple of weeks, a month, the state I'm in right now, I have been friends with the guy who recommended the state to me for a couple of months. And so when I was considering states to transfer to, he was like, "I love that state. It's the best state. You should go to that state." And I trust him because him and I have developed that relationship over time by messaging each other in game. So whenever you're playing Foundry or things of that nature, like engage the other people. Community in whiteout survival, like that's one of the best things about whiteout survival is the community. And that community can extend past your current alliance and past your current state. So that's one of the things that I didn't mention that I really should have mentioned in part one. So now I'm going to move on to you've decided you want to transfer. So what's the next steps? So I mentioned before, there are 3 phases. The first phase, 1 second, please. Guys, the first phase is just a kind of get to know you phase. That's when you are making your final decision on where you're going to go. If you haven't made a decision, you get to see what states are available in your bracket. Sorry, hold on 1 second. Sam. And so you get to, you make sure that you have enough transfer passes so you can see up here at the top. And forgive I snapped a picture before I used my transfer passes. So it says transfer cost 35 of 35. So you need to have that first number is the number of passes you have. That second number is the number of passes you need. So I had 35 passes and I needed 35. And so on Sunday, the very first thing I'm going to do is go in and purchase a pass so I can start building back up because I know that I need 35 passes. So I'm going to go to the Alliance shop and use Alliance tokens to make that purchase. The second phase is where you do the transfer invites. Now, once you decide that you want to transfer to a state, so you say, you know what, I really want to transfer to where Joan is. Joan is in 3038. So I'm going to message Joan and I'm going to see if I can transfer to her state. And so you message somebody you know in that state, or you, pick an alliance. Like if it's during the transfer period, you can reach out directly to the transfer manager, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But I recommend that you reach out to them as soon as you say, when you're doing your research, and you say, like, I definitely want to go to that state. I definitely want to go where Joan is. I suggest that you reach out and contact somebody in that state, an R4 or an R5, and you say, hey, I want to move to your state. So, you know what? I can show you how to do that real quick because some people, you might not know how to go and search for another state. And so I will show you how to search for another state real quick. So you're at the world view. You click the little world over here in the left-hand corner, down at the bottom. And then you click world map, and you'll come to this. And then we're going to do a search. And because I created the little state in 3108, I'm going to do a search for 3108 because we know that that's where I'm going to go. And so I've typed in 3108 and I'm going to hit search, and it's going to take me to 3108, and I click go. And so now I'm in 3108. And if you scroll out, you can look and you can see, look at all of these HQs and all of these banners. You know, the different colors represent different alliance banners. And so there are a lot of alliances around here. And I'm like, you know what? I've been watching World Chat, right? And I really like how WAH or WA, I like how they talk to each other. They are super friendly. So I don't know where they are actually. Where are they? I would have guessed they were by their HQ, but perhaps, let's try DAM. Well, I don't know where everybody is at. This is a tyrant state, by the way. This is not a state that I would recommend you transfer to. They are currently, there we go. They are currently experiencing a tyrant. So, okay. So you find, I'm not going to watch you sit here while I try to find the WA people. They've got to be around here somewhere, and I could keep looking to find them, but I'm not gonna. But what you could do is, you know, I found this other alliance, and so I'm like, you know what? I want to go here. So I'm just gonna pick some random person, and I'm gonna click on their city and get this, and then you click on their profile picture, and it shows you their information. Hi, Gauze, if you're watching this. And then you click View Alliance down here at the bottom, and it gives you the alliance. And you want to reach out to the R5 or any of the R4s. And you want to reach out to them and say, you click on their profile picture and it says View or Chat, and you want to open up a chat, and you want to send them a message and say, hey, I'm interested in transferring to your alliance, to your state, and to your alliance next transfer period. Can we talk? Or however you chat with them. Now, ideally, after talking to those people, they will give you an invite, and you will get that invite during phase 2, which is transfer invites. So you will, you know, be hanging out, and then you will get a little icon down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And that is the transfer invite icon. You will also get a message in your inbox, in the little mail icon that links to your invite. And then you can also see the invite. If you go to the transfer page, you'll see, down here at the bottom, there's a place that says invites. And so you can click on that, and it will take you to a page that looks like this, where you can physically view the invite. And I snapped a photo of it, and it shows that I have the invite. It shows that I met all the criteria. I did not meet the power cap, but I had a special invite, so it didn't matter. And then you'll see that it has a button down here that says transfer, and then it has the number of passes required to transfer. So when you're going to transfer, if you have an invite or you don't have an invite, the process from the rest of the way is the same. It's just having an invite guarantees you a spot in the new state. If you do not have an invite, you have to go during open transfer. And so here's what it looks like when we're in open transfer, which is phase 3. Now, phase 3 starts at Friday reset, and it lasts 24 hours. Well, it lasts 2 days, but to be clear, states fill up very quickly. So if you're going to do it during open transfer, you really need to plan on being online at reset so that you can pick your state and transfer immediately. So I'm going to go to 3108 because that's the state that we are pretending we're moving to. And you see, I can't transfer right now because I have just transferred. So I can't transfer. But if you look up here, you can see that they have 41 of 55 spots left. Now, their transfer power cap is very low. You have to have a special because they are trying to limit the number of people that can move into their state due to them having a tyrant in their state. So I would have to have a special invite if I were going to move into their state. So so you go to the state and you find the state that you want to transfer to. I think Banana Nation was 3075, right? So let's say we decided we want to go to 3075. So you can see that they have their transfer cap is 10 of 55. So they have 10 open transfer spots available. They also have 10 invites still available. So if you wanted to transfer with an invite, you could tap the part where it says transfer manager. You see it scrolling and it says transfer manager, and then it gives the person's name. You can click that, and then you can come and you can message directly the state transfer manager. This becomes available. You can see this information during phase 1, which is before invites are sent. So if you haven't already connected with somebody during, prior to the transfer period opening, this is a good opportunity for you to reach out directly to the transfer manager and say, hey, do y'all have any more invites? I'd kind of like to move to your state. Okay, so once you are ready to transfer and you meet all the criteria, you are going to click on the state and you're going to select to transfer to that state, and it'll be blue. It'll be grayed out if you are not able to transfer. So if you have an invite during phase 1, it'll be blue because you have an invite. But if you do not have an invite during phase 2, it will be grayed out. So everybody's grayed out for phase 1. Invites are available for phase 2. For phase 3, anybody can transfer whether you have an invite or not. But once phase 3 opens, it's first come, first serve, which means if your state fills up, even if you have an invite, you can't go. So it behooves you to go during phase 2 if you have an invite. And I recommend jumping right at reset when phase 3 opens if you don't. And what you're going to do is you're just going to click the blue button. And it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. And it just goes over the rules. First of all, your city is going to be randomly teleported to somewhere in the ice field of the state you're moving to, and you will get a 24-hour shield placed on your city immediately. You will not have access to group chats that you formed in your current state. So in my old state, we had a lot of group chats, some friends, and then I followed, our leadership team had a group chat. And then, there's the state chat related to strategy. I lost all of that when I transferred out of that state. I couldn't keep any of those. You cannot be in a group So if your friend Banana lives in another state, you cannot be in a group with him because he's in a different state. You can message him directly, but you, Banana, and your friend Joan, if y'all three are in different states, you cannot have a group chat with the three of y'all in Whiteout Survival. The last thing is your arena points are going to be reset. So if you have spent all week building up and now you are currently in third place in arena, unfortunately, you are going to drop back down because they're going to reset to 1,000 points, and your ranking is going to drop substantially. So you have to start over with a new arena, and you'll start over fighting the little people again. So you click the little checkbox here where it says I have read the above, and keep in mind, I'm going over this so thoroughly because when you are transferring during open transfer, you have to go fast. If you're transferring during phase 2 with an invite, you can go slow and you can read it thoroughly. But at reset, when phase 3 opens, you have to go fast to guarantee your spot in that state. So you click I have read the above, and then you click transfer. And then it'll take you to the final transfer confirmation. And this is where it says, are you sure you want to go to that state? So make sure it's the right state. Then it's going to tell you like, hey, these are the resources you're going to lose. So you can see that I had way too much meat and wood and a decent amount over of coal and iron. I lost all of that. I exceeded the maximum, and so I lost like 5 billion wood. Like it didn't tickle. I didn't enjoy that, but I had a choice. I could either transfer to state 3038 or I could keep my wood. And so I opted to transfer, and so you hit confirm, and then it takes you to this screen. And this is just where they are transferring you from one state to the other or one server to the other. Each state is on its own server. So it's transferring me, it's taking me from server 3036 and it's moving me to server 3038. And when it's done, you'll see this, and it says transfer succeeded. Congratulations, you've successfully transferred to your new state, and now you are in the ice field. And if you click view or you tap anywhere on the screen to exit, it'll take you to where your new city is, and it's in the wilds in your new state. And that's when you would go to join the new alliance that you have talked with, assuming you have talked with an alliance. If you haven't, if you are just jumping to a new state and you don't already have an alliance that you're supposed to go to, you can go to World Chat and say, hey, does anybody have room for me? I just joined your state. And I mean, odds are good that somebody is going to be like, hey, yeah, come join us, right? So that is the entire transfer process from the very start to the very end. If you have any questions, please reach out. I didn't talk about the specific requirements, now that I think about it, of what you have to do in order to transfer. So I'm going to go over those real quick. So the first thing is you have to meet their power cap. So if you don't meet their power cap, so for instance, for 3038, I exceeded their power cap of 400 million. So I got a special invite. But some of my friends who came with me, they exceeded 400 million and they did not get an invite. So they had to go in and reduce their power. Some were able to simply strip their heroes of all their gear and zero their heroes XP. And I can show you real quick what I mean. I say real quick, it's depending on whiteout survival. There we go. Okay, so you go to your heroes and you just unequip all of them. So I'm gonna equip it real quick so we can look. So my power right now is 556. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna unequip the gear
Shots clatter or tunes
from all the heroes I have that have gear.
Shots. Dancing in the wind is my thing.
And you can see my power has now dropped to 526. And then if I need to drop further, I can come to Drill Camp. You go to the Level Resets tab. And I can go in and I can zero all of the heroes that have hero XP from level 80 down to level 1. Now you can see that, and no, I don't want to do that. So you can see that I had reset some heroes. I was doing another video and my dog started barking, so which is why I forgot to tell y'all about them zeroing the hero XP, because I had already done it in my head. But you just hit reset and you reset them all to 0, and that's going to drop your power also. So if you are only slightly above the cap, that might be enough. You can also, it often happens during, right after SVS, the transfer. And so if you lose troops during SVS by battling, you just don't get them back. Don't heal them. Don't request ally assistance to recoup that 90%. Leave them dead, and that might drop you enough. You're also, if you exceed the power cap, you are also given the option to dismiss troops. I don't have that option because I didn't need it. So I don't have a picture of what that looks like. But that is another option, is you can dismiss troops in order to be able to transfer. And so that's everything I can think of related to transfer. If anything was unclear or you have some specific questions, as always, please leave a comment or send me a DM. I'm happy to, answer your questions. Or if you want me to talk about something else that I haven't covered in any of my videos, please let me know. I'm always looking for ways that I can help support y'all and help people learn how to play whiteout survival. Y'all have a great day.